Tenuantan aigi megan medere nekitiye. Aprodamata kampaවෙන්නේ පල්ලි. ඉතින් අප්‍රෝදාමට කම්පාවෙන්නේ අප්‍රෝදාමට වෙනස් වෙන්නේ නැති. අප්‍රෝදාම ඉතින් මේ රහතන් වහන්සේ කියන්නේ.
So yesterday the talk was about these three perceptions when they are developed often. So the first one is the kind of result is for developing a perception of impermanence was kind of being freed from the 8 worldly dhammas. Then the 8 worldly dhammas, it's actually only the arahat that is completely free, or as they say, the one whose mind does not shake because of these 8 things, and that is the arahat.
අපි රහත් නැහැ කියලා ඉතින් කල්පනා අපි රහත් නැහැ ඉතින් ඒක අපි මේ අපිට දන්නේ මේක කියලා හිතනවනේ වගේ.
So Lokam says there are many people think because like we are no arahats or no and even close to arahatship, this kind of talk is kind of lost on us. Or we are actually what they are trying to hide, they are not interested in.
මේ අපි මේ ජීවිතේ නම් රහත් වෙන්න මේ භාවනා කරගන්න නම් අමාරුයි දෙවෙනි කන්නේ මට ඉතින්.
Because these people also might think or would think this life attaining arahatship, doing practice for that, it seems like undoable thing. So
ඉතින් දැන් එහෙම අදහසකුත් නැහැනේ කට්ටිය. එහෙම අදහසකුත් බලාපොරොත්තුකුත් නැහැනේ.
कोई බලාපොරොත්තු
ආගියත් වෙන්න ඕන අයියේ. ඒක බලාපොරොත්තු මොකද නැහැ.
So no, Lokam says probably you also don't have the expectations to achieve arahatship in this life, isn't it like that? So because it's like that, then because of that no need to talk more about that. So anyway, we have this kind of laziness or disinterest. So that's the second one is the development of the perception of dukkha. The result of developing it often is getting free from kind of laziness and disinterest. So the words mentioned actually on the board is the kind of, let's say, laziness and negligence. So this Lokam says they are connecting like this. Laziness or disinterest means you neglect the wholesome.
ඉතින් ඒ නිසා අහංකාරය වැඩි වෙනවා මම කියලා මම අහංකාරය වැඩි වෙනවා මගේ කියලා.
So Lokam was connecting those 3 things probably. So because you don't have the idea of attaining full liberation, so you don't mind that much that you are afflicted by these 8 worldly things. And with that there is a kind of laziness towards the wholesomeness, neglecting the wholesomeness. And when that is happening, the I making and my making are thriving or like functioning, which is the third part.
දැන් ඉතින් අපි අඩුත් පාඩමක් කියන වැඩක් නැති මම කියන්නේ.
So anyway, Lokam says let's take something new. Like this was just like a summary for yesterday.
අපිට රෝග දෙකක් තියෙනවා.
We have these 2 kinds of diseases.
ඒ රෝග දෙක මොකද්ද? අවිද්‍යාවයි.
What are the 2?
තණ්හාවයි. අවිද්‍යාවයි
These
තණ්හාවයි.
2 diseases Our sicknesses are ignorance, avidya, and tanha, craving.
අපි බේත් ගන්න මේ කයේවට වෛද්‍යවරු එහෙම
So
දෙන්නේ කයේව.
if we get sick, like we have bodily affliction, we go to a doctor and get medicine for the body.
ඔව්. විවාහක ඉතින් එක එක රෝග ඇතිලා ලොකු මුදල් වියදම් කරලා එහෙම කරනවා.
So sometimes, especially if the disease is complicated, you have to even spend a lot of money and effort to cure that disease.
ඒ රෝගෙකින් හොඳ වෙන්නේ නැහැ.
Sometimes, no matter what you try,
මරණකම්.
it won't. You cannot really overcome the disease and up to the death.
ඉතින් ඥාතීන් එක තරහින් රන් දෙවින්න බඳිනවා.
So then there is this kind of arguing and fighting, especially with the relatives, is happening.
ඒක තමයි ස්වභාවික තත්ත්වය.
That is the nature, how things are happening.
ඉතින් හැබැයි ඉතින් මෙහෙ එන්න ඕනේ ඒ මානසික රෝග වලට බෙහෙත් හොයාගන්න.
So you come here, or people come here with probably the idea, or even if that idea is not there, but it should happen, is getting some treatment for these two diseases that we have, for the disease of ignorance and craving. So when you come here, you should get some treatment for those.
ඉතින් මෙහෙ ඇවිල්ලා ඉතින් මේ රෝග චුට්ටක්වත් පොඩ්ඩක්වත් එද වෙන්නවත් නැත්තම් මේ වැඩක් නැහැ ඉතින්.
So, but if you come here and nothing happens with those two things, then it's a kind of waste.
ඉතින් දැන් මෙහෙ ඇවිල්ලා ඒ රෝග තියෙනවනම් ඉතින් මේ වැඩක් නැහැ. මේ ඉඳලා වැඩක් නැහැ.
So even if you come here, but you stay and nothing happens about those two diseases within you, then it's like you can say it does not matter that you are here. So in a way, it is wasteful to stay there.
දැන් ඔය කුටි කාමරයක් තියෙනවා. කුටියක් තියෙනවා කාමරයක්. මොකක්ද ඉන්න දෙයක් තියෙනවා.
So all of us have a place where we can stay here, either a meditation hut or at least your own room.
එතකොට ඉතින් හැමදාම වගේ තියෙනවා. කන්න බොන්න බේත්
and you have all the amenities that are needed. So the place supplies you with water, electricity, food, drinks, and all the necessities.
ඉතින් ඊළඟට මේ බේත් ගන්න ඕනේ.
So but on top of that, it's good if you take your medicine, or it's good if you get your treatment.
දැන් විනිත බේත් දෙනවනේ වෛද්‍යවරයෙක් වගේ.
I hate it. So then Vinita is like a kind of assistant doctor that gives you some kind of medicine.
හැබැයි ඉතින් බේත් දීව බා පේන්නේ නැහැ.
So sometimes it happens that people take the medicine, but we cannot see any result of the medicine. But anyway, if you drink the medicine, that is good, even if you don't see the result.
මේ රෝග දෙක නවිද්‍යාව විතරයි. මේ රෝග දෙකට බුදුහාමුදුරන් වහන්සේ බෙහෙත් දේශනා කළා තියෙනවා. සමථය විපස්සනාව.
So we have these two sicknesses, that is the ignorance and craving, avidya and tanha. And the Buddha, as a kind of skilled physician, gave us two very specific treatments or medicines, and that is samatha and vipassana. That is usually translated as tranquility practice and insight practice.
අවිද්‍යාවට මේ විපස්සනාවයි තෘෂ්ණාවට සමතයේදී
So this
ඖෂධ
this book like Lokam's referring to that explains further that it is the tranquility practice is there to combat the disease of craving, and ignorance disease is combated by the vipassana or insight practice.
තෘෂ්ණාව සමතයනේ.
So once again, with the ignorance is treated by vipassana. Avidya is treated by vipassana. That is, ignorance is treated by insight, whereas craving is treated by tranquility, or this tanha is treated by samatha.
දැන් අපිට විපස්සනාව කියන එක රෝගී සුව වෙන එකක්. රෝගී සුව වෙන එක.
So this insight practice is something that really kind of reduces the disease of ignorance. That's vipassana, the insight training.
විපස්සනා කියලා කියන්නේ ඔය දැන් අපි ඔය යනවා නේද? හිමින් යනවා, හිමින් අල්ලනවා, හිමින් යමින් අල්ලනවා, ගන්නවා, තියෙනවා මෙහෙය කරනවා, හපනවා මෙහෙය කරනවා. ඉතින් මම හැමදාම කියනවා ඉතින් ඒව වැටෙන්නේ විපස්සනාවට නෙමෙයි.
Now these people, they have sometimes this understanding that vipassana is doing everything slowly and noting everything up to the like blinking of your eye, and that is what is you are being asked to do that all the time by Loko Hamudra and me. So but that does not fall within the vipassana or insight practice.
එහෙම කරනකොට එන්න ඒතර උඹ රෝග දුර වෙනවා.
When you practice that, a lot of this disease disappears.
ඒ කියන්නේ යටපත් සමතයනේ. ඒතකොට රෝග
Because this is actually kind of one form of samatha practice or tranquility practice, this noting. And with that, a lot of the sickness gets temporarily suppressed.
යමක හුඟක් හයියන ඒ ඉතින් හයිය ගතිය ඇරලා ඉතින් එක මොකකාරි හොඳාදී ගන්න මේ රැහැලා ඒ හොඳාදී ගන්න සුද්ධ කරලා ගන්න ඕනේ. මේ ගහ
Hari. So if I understood correctly, Kam says, let's say you need a good wood, so-called hardwood. So then you find a tree, cut it down, then you remove the big branches, then you remove the like knots that are left there of the branches. Then you remove the skin and start filing it. So it's like that you get to the core, which is good wood. So these especially very gross, coarse things, they are removed by this practice, like you do the walking, sitting practice and noting. So this is like preparing the like tree into a tree trunk into a like a pillar. Cutting it down and removing the grossest part happens with this walking, sitting and paying attention practice. So I don't know. I think Lokam said, if you feel like doing, then please do that. Or it can mean this is worth doing, so do it. So then but this still was talking about the tranquility part of the practice that we do. So as was mentioned, the ignorance gets cured by vipassana practice. So comes saying that this ignorance is there, something to do with the so-called hindrances.
ඒ ස්වභාවය තේරෙනවා නිවන්නයන් මේ නැති කළ දානවා.
So you first understand the nature of the hindrances, and with that they are undone, and they are like removed or destroyed.
ඒ නිවන්නයන් අඩුවෙන් අපිට මේ සමතය ඇති වෙනවා.
So in order to reduce or temporarily suppress the hindrances, we need the samatha, the tranquility practice.
එතකොට ඒකෙන් තෘෂ්ණාව අයින් වෙනවා.
With that the craving is removed.
එතකොට මේ අවිද්‍යාවයි තෘෂ්ණාවයි කරන්නේ මොකක්ද?
So what do the ignorance and craving actually do?
විපස්සනාවයි මේ සමතයයි හොඳට සකස් කරලා දෙනවා.
So what happens with them? What happens with them? They are getting treated by this combined practice of samatha and vipassana, that is tranquility and insight.
අවිද්‍යාව කියන එක හොඳ එකක් නෙමෙයි.
So this ignorance is not something good,
අවිද්‍යාවෙන් නිවන්න හදනවා කියන්නේ.
because as was mentioned before, these hindrances arise out of ignorance,
සමතෙන් සංයෝජන හැදෙනවා.
and the factors out of craving.
එතකොට මේ අවිද්‍ය විපස්සනාවෙන් අර නිවන්න ටික නැති කරනවා. සමතෙන් අර සංයෝජන ටික නැති
And these get treated by the samatha and vipassana, tranquility and insight.
දැන් මම ඉස්සෙල්ලා කියවන්නේ මේ අත ගෙනියනවා කනවා බොනවා. ඒවා සමත කියලා. ඉතින් විපස්සනා මොකක්ද කියලා දැනගන්න.
So then, if you accept that what Lokam said before, that this noting, doing everything slowly and one thing at a time, and noting careful, everything is actually tranquility practice, then we need to get some understanding what is actually the vipassana or insight practice.
ඒක තමයි මේ ඔය අපිට ස්කන්ධයන් කෙරෙහි අවබෝධය.
So it is when you, with whatever is experience, you start understanding, experiential understanding the five aggregates, the experience in terms of the five aggregates.
මෙතන රූප වේදනා සංඥා සංකාර කියලා.
So you see that what is being normally taken as our experience is this combination of rupa, that's body, form or body, vedana, feelings or experiencing, sanya, perceptions, volitional formations, sankhara and consciousness.
මේ රූප වේදනා සංඥා සංකාරය හොඳට මොනවද කියලා තේරුම් ගන්න.
So then for a yogi, it might happen that the yogi starts really well getting this understanding of the five aggregates within the experience.
එතකොට මේ දැනගැනීම එතකොට ඉලක්කණය අවබෝධය එන්නේ මේ අවිද්‍යාව අයින් විපස්සනා කරලා.
So Kam is now saying, in order to remove the ignorance, and that means see the three characteristics, one needs to develop the insight. So that starts with understanding what is happening in terms of the aggregates, elements and sense bases. Sometimes for the yogi it might not be understood in terms of the five aggregates, but the understanding is how it's just a bunch of like elements interact.
පඨවි ධාතු ආපෝ වායෝ ඒවට අපේ ශරීරයේ තියෙන ධාතු ටික.
This is especially in connection with the body. So the body is compounded according to this classification by these four so-called great elements of the literally mean the earth element, water element, air element, heat element and air element. Sometimes they are given as solidity, adhesion. like things to do with temperature and vibrations and movements.
ඉතින් ඇහැ රූපයක්.
Hmm.
එතකොට පේන දේ තත්ත්වයකෝ පේන රූපයක්.
So your physical organs of seeing, the physical eyes, they are a kind of form. So there is a combination of these four great elements. The things that we see are also combination of the elements.
ඒක ඉතින් විඥානයක් තමයි අටගත්තේ.
But based on these things,
චක්කු විඥාන.
eye consciousness arises.
ඒකත් රූප මගේ හැත් රූප. ධාතු ධාතු.
But both the object that is seen, let's say, and the eyes that do the physical seeing, they are a combination of elements.
ඉතින් මේ විපස්සනා කරනකොට මේ අවිද්‍යාව අයිනිකම තේරෙන්නේ ඒව තමයි.
So if I understood correctly, classes, what is called vipassana is really about reducing and removing the ignorance.
දැන් සමතේ නිසා ඉතින් දැන් අපි කියවන ඉතින් සමතේ මේ තුනවගේ ඒ තෘෂ්ණාවත් එක්ක තමයි සංනාවත් එක්ක තමයි සංයෝජනයෙන් ඒලා තියෙන්නේ.
So with the craving lokamsas, these factors are there. So with the samatha practice, the craving is being reduced.
සංයෝජනයත් එක්ක ගැටගෙන තියෙන මේ සංනාව දෙකින් අයින් කරනවා.
So with these factors, what is admixed there is the craving, and it is not easy to remove it from. So there are some people that spend a lot of time practicing some kind of meditation with the object, wanting to attain jhanas or absorptions. So sometimes they do that because thinking that this kind of existence is not kind of that good, but the Brahma existence is much preferable to that. So, and the jhanic experience leads to this Brahmic experience, so they practice that for that reason. Thinking better than here, it's there. Sometimes thinking if I go there, I can wait there until the Maitri Buddha arises and then I can go and see him. So those are the ideas that people have. So Kam says he doesn't know about white people if they have the same ideas of going to Brahma worlds, or if they have the idea if it's with the same kind of attitude.
Brahma world දන්න ඇති. හැබැයි ඔය ප්‍රතිගත කරන්න ඕනේ දේවල් බුදුහාමුදුරුවෝ බලන්නේ ඒ කතානේ. ඒ කතා දන්නේ නැහැ.
No, so I don't know if I understand correctly. Kam says, so some of the white people, they might get the idea to go to some the Brahma worlds, but they might not get the idea to go and see the mighty Buddha.
No,
they go there thinking that you can stay there like in a very enjoyable state of being.
Oh, then God then I said to her,
so causes many Sri Lankan, many Sinhalese people, they have the idea of going there and then meeting the Maitri Buddha. So Lokam says, I also don't say don't do that.
ඉතින් මේ පිනවරණ පස්සේ දුගති අපායි.
So because if you die, it can happen you can go to some bad destination.
මෛත්‍රී බුදුන් දකින්න ඉතින්
Before you manage to meet the Maitri Buddha.
ඒකට මොකද කරන්නේ?
So then what you do?
කරන්නේ
Then you have nothing to do.
ඒකට මම ඉතින් අපරාධි කියලා කියන්නේ ඒ කියන්නේ එන්ජොයි එකේ ඒ කියන්නේ කලක්තා මේ සතුටින් ඉන්නේ.
So anyway, if you manage to get there and have this enjoyable experience for some time, because it is enjoyable, then it is kind of not so bad.
ඉතින් ඒක නෙමෙයි බුදුහාමුදුරුවෝ දේශනා කරන්නේ.
But it is not what the Buddha was teaching, and it's not why the Buddha was teaching.
아무튼 මේ සංයෝජනයන් ටික අයින් කරගන්න.
So the Buddha is about removing these fetters and hindrances.
ඒක අයින් කර ගැනීම තමයි බුදුහාමුදුරුවෝ වර්ණනා කරන්නේ. මේ මොනවද? පළවෙනි සංයෝජනය මොකක්ද වෙන්නේ? සංයෝජන ටික සක්කාය දිට්ඨිය.
දැන් මම අපිට
හා
අර උඩයි කතාවනේ.
ඔව්.
ලෝකමන වැඩින් අයහොත් අතර දෙන්න කැමති නෑ.
එතකොට සක්කාය දිට්ඨිය තියෙනවා.
So anyway, so the first factor has something to do with this personality, where you sakkaya ditti.
සක්කාය දිට්ඨිය කියලා කියන එක දැන් අපි තෝරා දෙන්න ඕනේ.
So you have to get some understanding what is meant by this sakkaya ditti.
මම මගේ ආත්මය.
So there are these three: me, mine, and myself.
ඔන්න ඒක තමයි සක්කාය දිට්ඨිය කියන්නේ.
So that is what is the personality.
ඔව්. ඉතින් මේ සංයෝජනේ බැඳිලා තියෙන්නේ අපේ ජීවිතේ.
So with that factor, our lives are bound by that factor.
ඒ සංයෝජනේ බැඳිච්ච එකක් නෑ හැමතැනම බැඳිලා.
So then the factor is not really like one place factor, it is like factor to everywhere.
පුතුවත් මගේ අල්මාරියත් මගේ පාපිස්සත් මගේ ඉතින් බඩමුත් ඔක්කොම මගේ ඒකට දරුවන්ට කෑ ගන්නවා එළකොළන්ට ඕකේ අදියන්නේ නැහැ.
So even with your like chair, books, house, kids, the way I understand what Ukam says is, if you have this idea of me, my and myself, that means you are factored with those things. Is the factor of that personality.
ඉදකඩම් කම්පැනි.
So whatever, it might be your like lands or your own business company.
උඟක් මගේ මම
So that is a kind of sense of me or myself in connection with that.
දරුවෝ මගේ.
So yes, because you think this is like my kids, my company, and so on.
මම දරුවන්ට මම කියන්නේ මගේ හිතලා කියන්නේ.
Lokam says this the kids, it's probably mostly the sense of belonging to me, like my kids. You don't get too much the sense of me.
මට අයිතිදේ මට අයිතිදේ කියන්නකො බලන්න ඔය කට්ටිය. මමනේ ඉතින් මම කියන එකකට අයිතිදේවත් තමයි.
Is no, because this no, because this it's very difficult to properly translate in English. So there are things to do with me, something like this is the translation. So if you consider things to do with me, so then you can, if you start considering those, then you see how many of these things come up.
දැන් මම කියන එක ඉන්නනේ. දැන් එයා මගේ කියන ඒවා දැන් ගොඩක් වෙන් කළානේ.
So there is the me, and then as a kind of separate other things is things to do with me or belonging to me.
මම කියන එකනට අයිති දේවල් තියෙනවා ඒවත් වෙන් කළා.
So, and then there are things that I have to do only with the me, and then they are also kind of separated.
මේ සංයෝජන බැඳිලා තියෙන ඇති කියන්නේ.
So anyway, so from this you might start getting some kind of idea how much this first factor is binding us in so many places.
එතකොට දැන් මොන දැන් මාමාගේ දෙකෙන් බැඳිලා එතකොට ඉතින් ආත්මය කියලා බැඳිලා.
So you are tied not only with the I and me, or sorry, I and mine, or belonging to me, but also with this third one is the sense of self, myself.
දැන් අර බඩු මොට්ටු ඇරලා ගෙවල් දොරවල් ඇරලා මමගේ දෙක ඇරලා මම කියන එක තියෙනවනේ. ඒ මම කියන එකෙන් හොඳටම බැඳිච්ච මගේ කියන දේවල් ටිකක් තියෙනවා. ඒ මොනවද?
So if you leave out the like external physical things aside, there are things to do with the me and my that are like, let's say, called internal. So if we consider those,
මගේ මොනවද?
අදහස්.
නෑ අදහස් නෙමෙයි. මම කියන්නේ.
Oh.
මගේ කියන්නේ.
Oh.
මම කියන්නේ මේ අර බඩු මොට්ටුත් අතෑරලා.
Oh.
රැකී රස්සාවලුත් අතෑරලා. මේ බැඳිච්ච ආත්මය කියන එකෙන් බැඳිච්ච ආත්මය කියන එකනේ. ආත්මය කියන දෙයින් බැඳිච්ච මේ දේවල් ටිකක් තියෙනවා. ඒ මොනවද කියලා.
So now Lucas is trying to ask us if we leave out the physical things. ඒකයි.
මොකක්ද?
දැන් මధుර කනවා.
මధుර කනවා.
So anyway, so the question, I don't know, I go hope I am getting it. So comes asking something like this. So this me, my and myself, we try to get to the bottom of that really. So for now we leave out the physical things like cars, houses and these other things. We leave out of our consideration, and we try to see what is there still that has to do with the I and mine if we leave out the external physical things.
දැන් මොකක්ද දන්නේ නැහැ. මේ කටිනේ අපිට නම් වෙන්නේ තාඩුයි කොටද. දැන් මේගොල්ලෝ ඉතින් අපි හිතනවා ඒකට ටෙම්පෝ දාන්න ඕන ඒ මගේ.
So if you leave out the external things, Lokam says this was a hint for us as monks. We have a little bit less of those me and my things that are still there because we don't use shampoo and conditioners and things like that too much. So still what is still left is the body itself. So you want to like wash the hair and nice conditioner and put it in a nice hairdo and then apply some all kind of maybe like skincare creams and maybe these eyelashes black. I don't know, and varnish on the nails. I don't even know. All these kind of things. Scents, you will use scents and antiperspirants and things like that. So you try to make the body as presentable as possible. So then Lokam's eldest sister that died like last year basically, but this is something that happened not long before her death. She was Anuhai. So when she died, she was 96. So let's say when she was 96, this is the incident that Lokamdu is going to describe. So this was really near her death. She asked so she asked she had like helping lady, so she asked her to manage her nails and toenails because she said now they are looking ugly, so this like, please file them and clip them and polish them and apply everything. And she was pointing out the like shortcomings. This one, you see, this one you need to like file it, and I don't know. So to be really nicely presentable nails. Kaude. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, no, go. Sorry. Akaki with it. So no, Loko Hamudru probably it was like this. Loko Hamudru came to visit her, and they were looking like doing the what is called manicure. And when Loko Hamudru saw that, he said, "Oh, good. You should not stop there. Not only like file it and clip them, but varnish them nicely, and then also you should dye your hair to this nice black like dye because she used to not wear them, not have the dyes." So he was like as a joke telling her to get all the kind of things. So then after saying that, she called it Lokoha. So she asked, "Have you not ordained yourself? Are you not wearing the robes yourself?" So then shouldn't you have the proper understanding about these things? So then Lokam said, "No, it doesn't matter if I have the understanding or not, but now if you just file them and not varnish them, why are you doing that?" Then she said, "Those are two things. Beautifying the nails is one thing, but as a kind of normal human being, keeping your nails clipped and clean, because it is like even for your things is practical, that is completely another thing. So that's why they are filing and clipping the nails." So then other funny thing is Lokamdu's eldest sister never used to travel together with her own daughter. So Lokamdu was curious about it. Why do it's your daughter? Why you never travel together? Because the daughter is unsightly, so she does not know how to wear the clothes properly and other things, and So anyway, so I had observation. They were already, one was 70, the other one was 90. But really the mother looked better than the daughter anyway, even if you don't consider the clothes. So anyway, so Lokam says for this reason the elder sister refused to travel together with her daughter and used to travel together with her granddaughter. So then, but Lokam told her this is not good.
ඒ වුණාට ඒක හරියන්නේ නැහැ කියන්නේ.
ඒ මොකද දුවට හරි ශෝකය වගේ තියෙනවා.
ඔය වගේ තියෙන එතනවල මුල තමයි කියනවා.
Yeah, so because it was painful for the daughter because she was still daughter and the mother does not want to travel with her. So Lokam said yes, it was kind of very sad, and sometimes even from her face you can understand that she was sad about that. Anyway, so what to do about these things? Anyway, so you can understand, we were talking about the factors and the factor of personality view, or like sometimes they call it embodiment view actually. So in this, from these two stories you can understand how much these people are really bound and fettered by these things.
හැබැයි ඒ වුණාට භාවනා කරනවා.
But anyway, this sister used to do some kind of meditation.
මේගොල්ලන්ගේ ජාතිය තමයි භාවනා මොකටද භාවනා කරන්නේ?
මේගොල්ලන්ගේ ජාතිය කියන්නේ
මේගොල්ලෝ දින භාවනා කරන්නේ.
The kind of meditation you do.
මම මගේ දෙක මේ හැදෙනවා කියලා මේ
So I was confused what is meant by that, and I think Lokam was trying to make point because she really, even though she was practicing, she did not understand how this I and my and myself is arising and how she's bound to things by those. But so that part was not addressed by the meditation, but she was doing some kind of meditation. So why we should be exerting ourselves is in order to remove and undermine the I and my and remove it. So that means we remove the fetters with that. So anyway, Lokam says it with the craving that the fetters are there mixed up. So if you practice tranquility meditation, these fetters and craving, they are uncovered somewhat, but you cannot really eradicate them. This is the samatha practice. For that you need the vipassana. So it is only with the vipassana or insight practice that those are completely like removed and cut off and eradicated. So when you stay here, you are trying to do some kind of practice. So what should be happening? It should be at least some tranquility happening, and some level of the insight should be happening. So Lokam was talking about these two things, that is the ignorance and craving. The summit of the samatha tranquility practice is where the raga is translated as passion, but it can mean really also attachment actually. So you are coming to like the opposite of that, and that is dispassion or non-attachment. So the like summit and the result of the like successful samatha practice is attaining this dispassion or non-attachment. Is that the raga or attachment and the the mind concomitants connected with that, they are removed.
ක්‍රමානුකූලව අපේ කාමච්ඡන්දය අඩු වුණයි කියලා කියන්නේ.
So these things, they are removed little by little gradually.
ඒ කාමච්ඡන්ද
One of them, the first of them mentioned is
කාමච්ඡන්ද හැදෙන චෛතසික ටික ටික නැයි වෙනවා.
so is this kamachanda or liking for sensual things is reduced. So whatever mind concomitants are there to do with enjoying sensual things or enjoyment itself, they are gradually removed and reduced.
ඒකට කියනවා චේතෝ විමුක්තිය කියලා.
So when this one goes and reaches the really summit, peak of the practice, and successful end of the practice is called Cheto Vimukti or liberation of mind.
ඊට පස්සේ විපස්සනාවට ඒ කියන්නේ සිත සකස් වෙනවා.
So then you have insight practice.
ඒකෙන් අවිද්‍යාව අයින් වෙලා විද්‍යා විරාගය වෙලා පඤ්ඤා විමුක්තියට.
So with that, the ignorance is reduced, undermined and eradicated, and at the successful fulfilled summit of the vipassana or insight meditation is called panya vimukti or the liberation by wisdom. So now they have sounded the bell. So but Lokam says these things need to be known. And also it's unbearable with this mosquito and then the mentality and materiality. So these things that need to be clearly or really well known is the mentality and materiality.
ඒවා රූප කියලා ගන්නවා.
නෑ මම දකිනවා නේද?
ඔව් නාම.
ඔක්කොම පිටිපස්සේ. නෑ අර පැත්තේ මොකක් හරි කරනවා මම දා.
නෑ මේ කන්නඩි කොප්පු.
හරි.
නැත්නම් මේ
So Lokamru was showing his like spectacle case and saying, oh, this is the form, this is the rupa, and like this. So that this, by understanding the mentality and materiality is not meant that.
ඔව් මම දැක්කයි කියලා කියන්න පුළුවන්.
Sir?
මම දැක්කයි කියලා.
You can say I have seen.
ඉතින් කියබයි නාම රූප දකින්නේ.
But the form, mentality and materiality is not seen like that.
ඔව් ඒක දැනගන්න ධාතුතු ධර්මයන් අරිසෙල කිවි ඒව දැනගන්න ඕනේ.
So for that, there are things that need to be known that were mentioned before, and when those things come together, then it is like known or seen.
And that you do them nama rupa, ඒක ප්‍රහාණය කරලා අවිද්‍යාව තෘෂ්ණා.
So anyway, about our whole situation, there are things that need to be clearly, thoroughly known, and that is the mentality and materiality. That there are things that need to be abandoned, thrown away really, and that is the craving and ignorance. Then there are things that need to be developed, and that is the tranquility and insight. And then there are things to be realized, and those are called so the other one is translated as liberation. Vidya is kind of knowing, but it's used in the scriptures only to signify one thing, and that is the so-called path, or like when you are experiencing like path knowledge, the path itself, that the specific term. Vidya is just means like something like knowing, but in a very specific way that is not ever used in the Pali in other contexts. So Actually, this like word avidya is like the opposite of that. So this like it's like anyway. So may you be protected by the triple gem, well and happy. Thanks for listening. And mosquitoes, please go away.